Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Jimmy Butler says nobody is scared to play against Miami Heat. The Miami Heat haven't had the greatest of seasons thus far and have surprisingly struggled a fair bit at home. The Heat have lost 16 games at home, 18-16 record, in 2023-24, and they hadn't lost more than 15 in any of the 4 seasons prior to this one. When asked about their struggles at home, Jimmy Butler stated no one is scared of the Heat. "Home or away, I mean, we've got a job to do," Butler said. "I don't think anybody's scared to come in here and play us. I don't think anybody's scared to play us on the road either. Hopefully, in the coming games, we figure it out, we put our heads down, and get to work. Because we definitely got to start winning if we want to be where we want to be." Butler's comments came after the Heat were blown out 111-88 in Miami by the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday night. It was their third straight defeat at home, having lost to the Denver Nuggets and the lowly Washington Wizards prior to that. Struggling at home this late into the season is never a good sign. To the Heat's credit, though, they responded to those defeats by blowing out the Cleveland Cavaliers 121-84 at home on Sunday night. After the Pelicans shot 51.2% from the field against them, the Heat allowed the Cavaliers to shoot just 41.7%. There had been some slippage on the defensive end recently, and this was more like what you want to see from the Heat. For teams to be scared to play them, though, their offense needs to take things up a notch. The Heat are currently 8th in the league for defensive rating at 112.1, which is great, but are down at 23rd for offensive rating at 112.9, as per the NBA. You are not going to win consistently when your offense is that bad, and it's why the Heat are just 39-32 on the season. What's so interesting about the Heat, though, is that this is exactly what we said about them last season as well. They finished 25th in offensive rating and 9th in defensive rating in the regular season in 2022-23, which is worse than where they are now. Despite that, the Heat made it to the NBA Finals last year, as Butler elevated his game in the postseason. The 34-year-old has only averaged 21.4 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.4 steals, and 0.4 blocks per game in 2023-24, but you wouldn't bet against him taking things up a notch in the playoffs. While I expect him and the team as a whole to up their game in the postseason, I don't see the Heat getting back to the finals. The Boston Celtics are just flat out better than them, and while the Heat did beat them in 7 games last year, I don't think a repeat will happen. Thanks to the additions of Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, the Celtics are far better now than they were when these sides met in the 2023 Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat have also lost all 3 regular season meetings to the new-look Celtics in 2023-24. I would also back the New York Knicks to get the better of the Heat if they are healthy. Like the Celtics, the Knicks haven't lost to the Heat in this regular season thus far either. While things can certainly change in the playoffs, I just think we'll see more of the same if the Heat play either of these two. Bam Adebayo's theory for the Heat's blowout win over the Cavs is refreshingly simple. The Miami Heat exhibited defensive dominance in a 121-84 victory against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday night. There was never a back-and-forth game. Miami held a double-digit lead in the first quarter and didn't look back. Clearing the benches at the end of the third quarter hasn't happened often for the Heat this season. They've had to earn their wins in the mud. The final minutes of the fourth quarter became Miami's sweet spot. In a crucial game against the Cavaliers, the Heat turned to their defensive identity. Holding a team to less than 100 points seems nearly impossible in the modern NBA, but Miami challenged that norm. The Cavs had 39 points in the first half, shooting 28.6% from 3. Their highest-scoring quarter was a mere 27 in the fourth quarter once Miami's third string took the court. "Like I always say, man, let our defense be our offense," said Bam Adebayo. It wasn't just defending well and playing into preferred offensive sets. Miami turned defense into offense with 24 fast break points. Cleveland had 2 all night. This result came from coach Erik Spoelstra going sprinkling in a full-court press defense and a 2-3 zone in the half-court. The Cavaliers were forced to play their half-court offense with 14 to 16 seconds remaining on the shot clock for the majority of the game. Miami was pesky and played right into their planned schemes. Adebayo led the night with 5 steals, while 7 other players had at least one. They were able to just fly around and make a lot of instinctive plays, Spoelstra said. Some of it is how you want it to go by design, but the zone is really more read and react. You have to be a playmaker, and you have to have instincts for it too. Miami had the advantage in every major category, other than blocked shots. They had 44 rebounds to the Cavs 30, 29 assists to the Cavs 23, 13 steals to the Cavs 3, and 9 turnovers to the Cavs 17. From top to bottom, they simply outperformed the Cavaliers. Cleveland had 1 player in double figures, with Evan Mobley scoring a team-high 15 points. Miami didn't have anyone explode on offense either, but 7 players in double figures was the key to a consistent game. A balanced defensive game, with the energy focused toward the defensive end, produced one of the best games the Heat has played all season. This was a crucial game for Miami, who sits at number 8 in the Eastern Conference standings. A blowout victory should give the Heat some confidence and momentum to finish the regular season on the right foot. Key Heat rookie dealing with sudden injury. With only 12 regular season games left for the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler and company will do everything within their power to avoid the play-in tournament, with the team currently sitting in the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. The Heat are a game and a half back of the Indiana Pacers for the 6th seed, which could easily change if Miami goes on one of its patented runs around this time of year. Unfortunately, one thing that won't help the Heat in their attempt to move up the standings in the East is the recent injury suffered by rookie phenom Jaime Jaquez Jr., along with all the other injuries the team is dealing with to key players like Tyler Herro, Kevin Love, and Duncan Robinson. These injuries couldn't have come at a worse time for the Heat as the team tries to secure its spot in the NBA playoffs, especially if these injuries linger into the postseason, as Miami won't be going anywhere without these players. If the Heat can get healthy while not dropping too far in the coming 12 games, Miami has a chance to be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs once again. Although having a magical run in the postseason like they did last year is a bit of a stretch, Miami will always be a dangerous team with players like Butler and Bam Adebayo leading the way and arguably the best head coach in the league calling the shots on the sideline in South Beach. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Jaime Jaquez Jr.? Leave your opinion in the comments.